As we journey into the complexities of strength and conditioning tailored for youth, our core emphasis lies in establishing the fundamental movements. The overarching objective isn't just to propel them into lifting heavy weights or achieving unmatched speeds, it's about instilling the correct movement habits early on. Drawing a parallel, consider movement as the intricate language of the human body. Much like any language that stands firm on its foundational alphabets, our physical movements rely on basic patterns. These movement patterns aren't merely exercises, they are the core vocabulary of our body's physical lexicon. Squatting. Beyond being a gym exercise, squatting is a part of our everyday actions. Every instance of sitting down on a chair or getting up from a low stool involves a squatting motion. It's a harmonious play between the body's joints and muscles. Hinging. More than an exercise movement, hinging is about bending back without straining it. Whenever someone leans over to pick an object or bends to tie a shoelace, they're exhibiting a hinging motion, with the spine protected and the load borne by the legs and the hips. Pushing and pulling. These two movements, though opposite, balance each other out. Pushing comes into play when we open doors or push a trolley, while pulling is activated when drawing something closer or lifting. They're about developing the muscles in the front and back of our bodies, respectively. Lunging. Rooted in daily mobility, the lunge can be seen in strides or steps. From dance movements to climbing stairs, lunging is pivotal. Rotating. Almost every sport or dance form has some element of rotation. It's the collaboration of the spine and the core producing movements of grace and power. Carrying. Think of it beyond gym weights. Carrying a child, hoisting a backpack, or balancing groceries all require muscle strength, stability, and endurance. The journey of fitness and strength isn't linear. It involves constant adjustments to one's capabilities and goals. This brings us to a vital concept in training: progression and regression. Understanding progression. Progression refers to advancing an exercise or movement to increase its difficulty, thereby enhancing the individual's strength, flexibility, or even endurance. The purpose of progression is that it challenges the individual, ensuring continued growth and adaptation. Let's look at some examples. A squat. Progressing from a bodyweight squat to a goblet squat and then eventually to a barbell squat. For a push, transitioning from a wall push-up to a knee push-up and finally to a standard push-up. Now coming to regressions, it is defined as simplifying a movement or exercise to make it less challenging, which can be due to various reasons such as addressing form issues, accommodating injuries, or adapting to individual capabilities. It ensures that exercises are safe and adaptable, preventing undue injury or strain. Let's look at some examples of regressions. For a lunge, regressing from a jumping lunge to a reverse lunge or a split squat. For a pull exercise, transitioning from a pull-up to an assisted pull-up or a body row. So, how do we strike a balance between regressions and progressions? Personalization is key. Everyone's starting point and pace of progression will differ. It's essential to cater to the individual needs. Consistent assessment. Regularly evaluating an individual's form, strength, and endurance helps determine when to progress or regress. Feedback. Always encourage open communication. An individual's feedback regarding pain, discomfort, or confidence in a movement is invaluable, and it's a very important skill set for you as a trainer or a coach to understand these subtle cues that they put across. Bodyweight exercises are foundational in the athlete's journey of youth, serving as the initial stepping stone towards harnessing an individual's innate strength and flexibility. Before youth athletes delve into specialized training regimes or complex equipment, it's paramount that they familiarize themselves with the power and potential of their own bodies. One of the standout attributes of bodyweight exercises is their unmatched versatility. Not every young athlete has immediate access to state-of-the-art training facility, but with bodyweight exercises, the world becomes their training ground. Be it on the playground, in their bedroom, or even in the backyard, effective training is always feasible. This flexibility not only fosters consistency but also instills a sense of creativity and resourcefulness in young minds. Safety, especially for growing bodies, is of the essence. Bodyweight exercises, with their focus on compound multi-joint movements, help young athletes develop functional strength holistically. This all-rounded engagement ensures balanced muscle development, reducing the chances of injuries that can sometimes result from specialized repetitive sports movement or even heavy weightlifting. Additionally, the scalability of bodyweight exercises is tailor-made for the evolving capabilities of youth athletes. As they grow, both in age and skill, exercises can be easily modified to increase intensity or complexity. This ensures that training remains challenging yet achievable, fostering confidence and a growth mindset. In the world of youth sports, we often focus a lot on strength, speed, and learning specific skills. However, two equally important parts of training are mobility and flexibility. First, let's clarify what these terms actually mean. Mobility is about how well our joints can move actively through their whole range. Imagine a young soccer player moving quickly on the field, or a tennis player stretching out to hit a ball. That's mobility in action. On the other hand, flexibility is a bit different, even though some people use it to mean the same thing as mobility. Flexibility is all about how much our muscles can stretch. Think of a young gymnast doing a perfect split, or a kid easily touching their toes. That's flexibility for you. So why should we care about these two things for young athletes? There are several good reasons. First and foremost, having good mobility and flexibility helps prevent injuries. When kids can move well and stretch their muscles properly, they are less likely to get hurt during sports. Plus, since kids are always growing, it's important to make sure their muscles grow properly and evenly. Good flexibility helps with this. Good mobility and flexibility also helps their kids perform better in their sport. They can move faster, be more agile, and use their full range of motion, making them more effective athletes. Some sports moves, especially the tricky ones, need both strength and good movement, so having these skills early on is a big advantage. Looking at the big picture, focusing on mobility and flexibility now can help kids in the long run. So, by teaching them the importance of these skills now, we're setting them up for a future where they will move well and feel good. While strength and learning skills are crucial in sports, we shouldn't forget about mobility and flexibility. They play a big part in how well young athletes perform and how they feel in the future. As their coaches and mentors, it's our job to make sure that these areas are part of their regular training. India, with its rich history of ancient practices and traditions, offer a reservoir of wisdom that can be harnessed for the growth and development of young athletes. Foremost among these is the practice of yoga. Rooted in the age-old scriptures, yoga offers a blend of flexibility, strength, and mental focus exercises that can significantly enhance an athlete's performance and recovery. The breathing techniques in pranayama can improve lung capacity and oxygen utilization, thereby boosting endurance. Similarly, traditional Indian dance forms like Bharatanatyam or Kathak emphasize rhythm, balance, and footwork, which can aid in refining coordination and agility in young sports enthusiasts. Additionally, Ayurveda, India's own ancient medicinal system, provides insights into personalized nutrition and natural remedies that can bolster an athlete's immunity, stamina, as well as recovery. Meditation and mindfulness, deeply ingrained in Indian culture, are invaluable for mental conditioning. This helps an athlete build resilience, focus, and a positive mindset. Now, while India's vast repository of traditional practices offer a wealth of knowledge beneficial for youth athletes, it's pivotal to approach these traditions with discernment. It's crucial to remember that not everything ancient or traditional necessarily translates to efficacy in the modern context. Blindly adopting practices based solely on their historical or cultural significance can sometimes lead to inefficiencies or even potential harm. Science and research should be the touchstones against which we measure the utility of any method, ancient or new. Before integrating traditional practices into a training regime, it's wise to delve into the scientific reasoning behind them. For instance, while yoga is globally recognized for its myriad benefits, Not every asana or posture might be suitable for every athlete or even every sport. Understanding the biomechanics and the physiological implications of these practices can help in customizing them to cater to an athlete's specific needs. Moreover, critical thinking and logic should be applied. Question the why and how of a practice ensures that we're not merely adhering to tradition for tradition's sake, but truly harnessing its potential advantages. In some cases, modern adaptations of traditional techniques might offer better results. So while India's traditional practices can be a goldmine for enhancing athletic performance, it's imperative to blend reverence for tradition with the scrutiny of modern science. This balanced approach ensures that youth athletes get the best of both worlds, maximizing benefits while also minimizing risks. Adolescence is marked by periods of swift physical changes, commonly referred to as growth spurts. Identifying these periods accurately is foundational to adapting an athlete's training and ensuring their well-being. One of the most telling signs is a notable increase in height over a condensed time frame. While height offers a direct measurement, other practical signs include the athlete outgrowing their sports equipment, shoes, or daily wear more quickly than usual. Furthermore, changes in energy levels can also provide cues during growth spurts. The body's energy is largely diverted to support rapid movement. This diversion might manifest as heightened fatigue, with athletes requiring more sleep or feeling persistently tired. Another telltale sign is the onset of joint and muscle pain, often dubbed growing pains. These aches predominantly surface in the legs, especially in the front of the thighs, calves, and knees. Lastly, any sudden drop or inconsistency in skill, balance, or coordination, skills that were previously mastered, can also suggest the onset of the growth phase. When an athlete is navigating a growth spurt, their training needs a thoughtful, adapted approach. The foremost concern is the disparity in the growth rate between bones and muscles, with bones lengthening faster. This discrepancy can lead to reduced flexibility and sometimes muscle imbalances. To counteract this, coaches should prioritize exercises that emphasize flexibility. Incorporating a combination of dynamic stretches like leg swings, lunges, or torso twists, and the static stretches such as hamstrings or calf stretches can assist in maintaining muscle elasticity and joint mobility. As the body undergoes significant changes, pushing an athlete to perform at peak levels can be counterproductive. A tempered approach to training intensity is always advisable. Rather than striving for new records or milestones, the focus should be on consistent, moderate performance. This approach not only safeguards against potential injuries but also prevents demotivation due to temporary performance drops. With the body in flux, even fundamental techniques might require adjustments. As the athlete's physical dimensions and proportions evolve, there could be a need to relearn or even recalibrate certain movements or stances to ensure efficiency and safety. Investing time in this foundational retraining can pay dividends in the long run. Periodization is more than just a training schedule. It's a scientific and structured approach designed to help athletes reach their optimum performance levels at the most crucial times. This systematic method of organizing training can be similar to building a house, laying a foundation, building upon it, adding the necessary details, and then maintaining its structure. So let's break down the periods. Periodization is typically segmented into various cycles that range from broad overview to the specifics of day-to-day activities. First, we have the macro cycle. This is the bird's eye view of an athlete's training, often encompassing a yearly or seasonal plan. At the onset of macro cycle, goals for the entire season or year are set. For youth athletes, this may align with the academic year. And then we have the mesocycles. These are intermediate phases, usually spanning several weeks to a month. Each mesocycle has a specific focus, be it building endurance, enhancing strength, or honing a particular skill. In the context of youth athletes, a mesocycle might concentrate on mastering a new technique or improving cardiovascular fitness. And then last, we have the microcycle, the most detailed segment. Microcycles break down the plan on a weekly or even daily basis. Here, specific exercises and drills and rest days are outlined, ensuring that the athlete is progressing steadily towards the mesocycle's overarching goal. Phases of training within periodization. First, we have the foundational stage. For young athletes, everything begins with laying a robust foundation. This phase focuses on skill acquisition, fundamental movements, and introducing them to various aspects of their sport. It's less about intensity and more about understanding and exploration. Next is the skill enhancement and fitness stage. Once the basics are firmly in place, the emphasis shifts to refining those skills and building fitness components, be it strength, speed, agility, or endurance. Here, training sessions might become more rigorous, but they are tailored to the athlete's growing capabilities. The next stage is the tactical preparation and mental readiness stage. As the competition or peak performance period looms on the horizon, the training spotlight shines on strategy, game plans, and mental conditioning. It's about synchronizing physical prowess with tactical acumen and ensuring the athlete is mentally prepared for the pressures of competition. In the last stage, we have the recovery and active rest stage. After the high of a competition or performance peak, it's essential to allow the body and mind to recuperate. This phase isn't complete inactivity, but rather engaging in low-intensity activities, cross-training, or other recreational pursuits that keep the athlete active without straining them. The unique nature of youth presents a complex interplay of factors that strength and conditioning coaches must consider in their training programs. Central to these considerations is the rapid physiological development during adolescence. Concurrently, the academic demands placed on young individuals can't be understated. The pressure of exams, school projects, and other scholastic commitments often means that training schedules need to accommodate these essential milestones in a young person's life. Beyond the physical and academic realms, the evolving personal interests of adolescents introduce another layer of complexity. As they grow, their passions, motivations, and even their commitment to a particular sport or activity can shift. Given this dynamic landscape, adopting a one-size-fits-all or overly rigid training plan is unlikely to be effective. Instead, it becomes imperative for coaches and trainers to design periodization plans imbued with flexibility. Such plans should be adaptable, allowing for modifications in response to an athlete's physical development, academic obligations, and evolving personal interests. In doing so, we can ensure that our young athletes remain engaged, motivated, and on a trajectory of continuous development, all the while respecting the multifaceted nature of their adolescent lives. Let's now talk about training volume and intensity. Understanding and adjusting training volume and intensity is pivotal in shaping the athlete's development of youth. These two elements form the backbone of any effective training regimen, and their careful management can make the difference between fostering a resilient, high-performing youth athlete and pushing them towards early burnout or injury. Defining the terms. So what does training volume mean? Training volume refers to the total amount of work an athlete performs during a given training session or period. This can include the number of repetitions, sets, distances covered, or time spent on a particular exercise or activity. Now coming to training intensity, it represents how hard an athlete works during each training phase, often measured by heart rate, speed, resistance, or even perceived exertion. Now, youth athletes are in a constant state of growth and development. Their muscles, bones, and cardiovascular system are maturing. This means that their capacity for volume and intensity will differ from that of an adult. Overloading them can lead to undue stress on their developing systems, increasing the risk of injuries. Adolescents have unique recovery needs. Due to the physical demands of growth, they may require longer recovery periods after high-intensity training sessions. Thus, trainers, coaches, and mentors should be careful about packing too many intense workouts consecutively without adequate rest in between. And remember, there are some practical approaches that can help. Start with a base of moderate volume and intensity and gradually increase as the athlete shows signs of readiness. This approach ensures that the athlete is continually challenged without being overwhelmed. Regularly check in with the athlete regarding their perceived effort and any signs of fatigue or discomfort. Adjustments should be made based on both objective metrics such as heart rate and subjective feedback from the athlete. As discussed earlier, breaking the training calendar into cycles allows for structured increase and decreases in volume and intensity. This approach ensures that youth athletes peak at the right time and have adequate recovery periods. Now let's talk about in-season training. The primary focus during in-season phase is maintaining peak performance, refining skills, and ensuring readiness for competitions. Training volume during in-season is typically reduced to avoid fatigue, but intensity remains high. The reduced volume ensures athletes are fresh for competitions, while high intensity maintains fitness levels and sharpens skills. While new skill acquisition may take a backseat, refinement of already learned skills is emphasized. This ensures that the techniques used in competition are efficient and effective. Given the increased physical demands of competitions, in-season training often emphasizes injury prevention. This includes targeted exercises for known vulnerable areas, flexibility work, and ensuring proper recovery post-games. More time is dedicated to understanding game strategies, opponent analysis, and other tactical elements relevant to the sport. In stark contrast, the off-season becomes a period of rejuvenation, foundational work, and skill enhancement. Here, training volume increases, laying down endurance, strength, and agility foundations for the forthcoming season. With no immediate competitions in the near future, it's an opportune time for athletes to dive deep into skill acquisition, set aside time for addressing and rectifying technical flaws as well. Beyond the physical realm, the off-season is a sanctuary for mental recovery. Athletes can introspect, set future goals, and address any lingering psychological challenges from the past season. Recovery, often overshadowed by rigorous training and competition, is a cornerstone of athletic longevity and sustained performance. As these young individuals navigate the challenges of growth spurts, academic pressures, and evolving sporting commitments, recovery becomes not just beneficial but essential. Understanding its nuances can make a significant difference in an athlete's journey, paving the way for consistent growth and reduced injury risks. The first aspect to underscore is the physiological uniqueness of youth athletes. Their bodies are in a state of constant evolution, with muscles, bones, and hormonal systems undergoing significant changes. This dynamic state means that their recovery needs might differ considerably from adults. For instance, growth plates in their bones are susceptible to overuse injuries, and their muscles may require more extended recovery periods following intense activities. Hence, adequate rest, both in terms of sleep and breaks between training sessions, becomes paramount. A good night's sleep especially plays a pivotal role in muscle repair, cognitive function, and overall well-being. Nutrition too plays a very vital role in the recovery process. Youth athletes have increased energy demands, not just from their sporting activities but also due to their growing bodies. Ensuring a balanced intake of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and hydration helps replenish energy stores, repair muscle tissues, and maintain optimal bodily functions. Moreover, with the propensity for growth, calcium and vitamin D become essential for bone health. Here are some practical and immediately applicable recovery strategies tailored for the youth athletes. First, we have the active cool down. Post a training session or competition, incorporate 10 to 15 minutes of low intensity activities like walking or cycling. This helps in flushing out lactic acid and aids in faster recovery. Then we have stretching. Dedicate 10 to 15 minutes of post-activity stretching to the major muscle groups. Focus on static stretching, holding each for about 15 to 30 seconds. This can help maintain flexibility and reduce muscle tightness. Followed by hydration. Drink water immediately after exercise. Dehydration can delay recovery, so ensuring good hydration practices can speed up the process. You can also consider electrolyte-rich drinks for intense sessions. Eat well. And then remember to eat well. Consume a recovery snack or meal within 30 minutes of finishing an activity. This should ideally be a mix of carbohydrates and proteins. Examples include a banana with peanut butter or a glass of chocolate milk. Don't forget to sleep. Encourage a regular sleep schedule, aiming for 8 to 10 hours, especially after intense training days. Sleep is the body's natural recovery mechanism. Try out some foam rolling. A foam roller can be used to massage and loosen tight muscles, a technique known as self-myofascial release. Spend a few minutes on each major muscle group, rolling slowly and focusing on the tight spots. Icing and compression can also be very effective. Ice and compression can do wonders. For particularly sore or swollen areas, apply an ice pack for about 15 to 20 minutes. Compression garments or wraps can also reduce swelling and promote blood flow. Elevate your legs. If legs are sore or swollen, lie down and elevate the legs against a wall. This helps reduce swelling by allowing fluids to drain away from the legs. Don't forget to breathe. The power of breathing. Simple deep breathing exercises can help in oxygenating the blood and relaxing the body. Spend 5 minutes in a quiet space taking deep breaths in and out. Mentally unwind. In all of this, it's important to mentally unwind. Allow some time to mentally disconnect from the training or competition. This could be through reading, listening to music, or any hobby that helps the athlete relax. Be sure to regularly check in. Especially for youth athletes, it's essential to consistently check in with them about how they feel. Encourage them to communicate about any aches, pains, or areas of discomfort. Rest days. Incorporate at least 1 or 2 full rest days in a week where the athlete abstains from structured training. These days can involve light recreational activities, ensuring they're not completely sedentary. Youth athletes with their growing bodies and developing skills face unique challenges when it comes to sports injuries. Being aware of these common injuries can guide coaches, parents, and athletes themselves in prevention techniques and timely interventions. Growth plates, which are the areas of developing tissues at the end of long bones, are particularly susceptible in young athletes. These plates are softer than the surrounding bones, making them more vulnerable. When growth is complete, these plates are replaced by solid bone. Common injuries including fractures or breaks, which if left untreated can affect bone growth. Overuse or repetitive motion injuries are also prevalent in youth sports. Due to the repetitive nature of certain sports actions like throwing in baseball or serving in tennis, muscles, tendons, ligaments can become stressed. Common examples include shin splints, tennis elbow, and swimmer's shoulder. Sprains and strains are injuries to the ligaments and muscles or tendons. Strains and sprains are injuries to the ligaments, muscles, or tendons. Ankle sprains, for instance, are particularly common in sports that involve jumping, cutting, or pivoting. Another occurrence is stress fractures, which are tiny cracks in the bones that result from repetitive force or stress. They are particularly prevalent in young athletes who quickly increase their activity levels or don't get adequate recovery time. Similarly, the ACL, a ligament in the knee, can be stretched, partially torn, or completely torn. Such injuries are common in sports like soccer, basketball, and skiing, where there are rapid direction changes, jumps, or collisions are frequent. A concussion is a brain injury resulting from a hit to the head or a violent shaking of the head and body. While they can occur in any sport, they are especially common in contact sports like football and hockey. Achilles tendonitis is an inflammation of the Achilles tendon, the large tendon at the back of the ankle. It's common in running and jumping sports and result from overuse, improper footwear, or insufficient warm-up. Preventing these injuries should be of utmost importance. Regular physical assessments, proper technique training, ensuring sport-specific conditioning, allowing ample recovery time, and using appropriate gear can all reduce the risk of these injuries. As youth athletes push their boundaries on the field, injury prevention becomes crucial to ensure their continued development and love for the sport. An effective, often underappreciated tool in this endeavor is strength training. When appropriately tailored for youngsters, strength training offers multifaceted benefits that go beyond mere muscle development. At its core, strength training enhances the power and endurance of muscles and tendons. Stronger muscles and tendons can absorb more stress, reducing the chances of injuries like strains and tendinitis. They also support the joints better, which can prevent overuse and impact injuries. Engaging in resistance training stimulates bone-forming cells, leading to an increase in bone mineral density. This makes bones more resilient and less susceptible to fractures, especially in sports that put a lot of pressure on specific bone structures. Strength training, especially when it includes functional exercises, can significantly improve an athlete's balance, coordination, and proprioception, which is the awareness of one's body position in space. Enhanced balance and coordination can prevent falls, awkward landings, or missteps, which are all common causes of injuries in youth athletes. Focusing on strengthening the muscles around the pivotal joints like the knees, ankles, and shoulders can shield these areas from the excessive strain or trauma. For instance, stronger hamstrings and quadricep muscles can help stabilize the knee joint, reducing the risk of ACL injuries. Sport-specific actions can sometimes lead to muscle imbalances, where one group of muscles becomes stronger than its opposing set. Strength training, when designed holistically, can address and correct these imbalances, ensuring that all muscle groups are adequately developed and work harmoniously together. Beyond injury prevention, stronger muscles can lead to improved performance. This can reduce the risk of injury indirectly by ensuring that movements are executed efficiently without overstraining. In the realm of youth sports, there is a thin line between pushing athletes towards their potential and pushing them too hard. Recognizing the signs of fatigue, overtraining, and burnout is essential, ensuring that the athletes can perform optimally while maintaining their physical and mental health. So let's define these terms. Fatigue is a natural and immediate response to physical or mental exertion. It can be seen as a protective mechanism, a signal from the body or mind that rest is needed. Fatigue is generally short-term and can be remedied with adequate rest and recovery. Think of it as the feeling after a single intense workout or a mentally exhausting day. Overtraining, on the other hand, is the result of prolonged excessive training without adequate recovery. It's the imbalance where the training intensity and workout volume exceed the body's ability to recover. Overtraining is a more chronic issue than mere fatigue and results in a host of physical, physiological, and even psychological symptoms that can impact an athlete's performance and well-being. Burnout isn't just about training too much. It's also about the mental and emotional strain often influenced by external pressures like high expectations, performance anxieties, or personal and academic challenges. It's a decline in enthusiasm and passion for the sport, feeling detached and resentful. Recognizing the signs and differences among fatigue, overtraining, and burnout is crucial, especially for youth athletes who are still growing. Being equipped with this knowledge can guide interventions and prevent potential long-term negative effects on an athlete's mind and body. Let us look at some signs that will help us understand if an athlete is fatigued, overtrained, or even burnt out. Here are some physical signs: persistent muscle soreness, weakened immunity leading to illness, a decline in performance, sleep disturbances, frequent injuries, and changes in appetite can all indicate overtraining. Emotional and mental signs: symptoms like increased irritability, mood swings, decreased motivation, heightened stress, anxiety about performance, and concentration challenges suggest mental strain due to overtraining. And then we have some behavioral signs. Athletes overtraining might distance themselves from friends, skip practices, avoid drills, show reduced interest in their own sport, and have increased conflicts with teammates. And last, we have the physiological signs. Chronic fatigue even after adequate rest, and elevated resting heart rate, especially in the mornings, and prolonged recovery times are subtle yet telltale signs of overtraining or burnout. Awareness and intervention are key. On recognizing these signs, it is essential to take immediate corrective action. This might involve tweaking the training regimen, emphasizing proper nutrition and recovery, or even consulting experts. Implementing regular rest periods, introducing varied training methods, and emphasizing mental well-being can significantly mitigate the risks associated with overtraining and burnout. The balance between striving for excellence and ensuring holistic well-being is crucial for the growth and success of youth athletes. In the modern era of youth sports, there is a rising emphasis on training harder, longer, and more frequently. While dedication and discipline are commendable, the importance of rest and recovery cannot be understated, especially when it comes to injury prevention for young athletes. Rest and recovery are not mere synonyms, but are two distinct components in an athlete's regimen. Rest refers to the physical break from training, allowing the body to heal and recuperate. It might be as short as a good night's sleep or as extended as a week off from training. Recovery, meanwhile, encompasses a broader spectrum. It includes practices such as hydration, nutrition, sleep, and other techniques that actively support the body's repair processes. It's about optimizing conditions for the body to heal, rebuild, and grow stronger. Youth athletes are in a phase of constant growth and development. Their bodies are undergoing significant changes, making them more susceptible to injuries. Proper rest ensures that muscles, tendons, and ligaments get time to heal from the microscopic damage incurred during training. Recovery practices ensure that this healing process is optimized, thereby reducing inflammation, promoting muscle growth, and restoring energy reserves. This holistic approach ensures that the athlete is primed for the next training session, both physically and mentally. Overuse injuries stand out as a predominant issue among young athletes for several reasons. First and foremost, the demand for excellence and continued improvement often leads to packed training schedules with minimal downtime. When this rigorous activity pattern couples with inadequate recovery between sessions or competitive matches, the body's natural ability to repair and rejuvenate is compromised. This continuous, relentless stress wears down the body's defenses. Imagine muscles being overworked without ample time to repair the micro tears, or consider tendons and ligaments constantly strained without getting the necessary time to rebuild. Over time, these conditions create weak points and vulnerabilities in the muscles, tendons, and ligaments. These vulnerabilities manifest in various forms: muscle strains, where the fibers are overstretched or torn; tendon sprains, indicating damage to the bands connecting muscles to bone; and in severe cases, fractures, where the constant pressure results in small cracks or breaks the bones. However, this concerning scenario isn't without its solutions. The antidote to overuse injuries lies in understanding and embracing the integral role of rest and recovery. By actively incorporating periods of rest into an athlete's routine, we provide the body with a window to activate its natural repair mechanisms. This is not just about lying down or staying still. It's about hydrating to replenish fluids, adopting a nutritious diet, and possibly engaging in recovery-focused activities like light stretching, foam rolling, or even therapeutic massages.